presentation is about SCORM and ingesting a SCORM module into the ELC. And the process of ingesting it is going to be unique to each LMS, but this is what you're going to do as an instructional designer. You're going to design and develop content. You're going to make it as a SCORM module, and you're going to be expected to be able to ingest that SCORM module into whatever LMS people are using. In this case, we're going to use the ELC, which is Desire2Learn's LMS. And the way you begin this process is you start up Articulate. And with Articulate started, you go ahead and click on Publish like you've done every week this semester. And now what we're going to do is we're going to leave the HTML5 output checked, but you're going to click on the LMS tab. And when you click on the LMS tab, you can still work on the title. You can also decide which folder you want it to go into. But what we're going to focus on now is we're going to focus on the tracking and the SCORM content. And there's lots of options under SCORM content. You can have SCORM 1.2. You can have, actually the original was AICC, then it went to SCORM 1.2, then it went to SCORM 2004, and now we're currently working with the Tin Can API. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It just says, how does your module communicate with other software programs like learning management systems? It turns out that Desire2Learn, the best it can do is SCORM 2004, so you're going to choose SCORM 2004 as your output. And then you can make a choice about what you want it to save. I like just doing a PassFail routine, and once you choose PassFail, you can basically decide what that is. You can do it based on quiz results. I like to just do it on screens. My particular module has 28 screens, and so you can decide if people have visited 26 out of 28, then it's passing, or whatever number you want to choose. Okay, so then you're going to go ahead and publish, click on the publish, and once you publish, you also want to click on zip. It needs to be a zip file. To ingest a module, it's got to be a zip file. So go ahead and click on the zip file, and that will automatically create the necessary zip file. Now you're ready. You've created your SCORM module. Now you're ready to ingest it. And so what we're going to do is you can go into the ELC and you can go search. And I just typed IDD and hit search, and it actually took me into the IDD repository. It may not take you into the IDD repository, but once you go into it, when you come back to your main login screen, you'll see the IDD repository. You all are instructors in the IDD repository, so you have full access to the Desire2Learn functionality. And so go ahead and click on the IDD repository. And once you're into the course, you'll see this Edit Course button up in the top right-hand corner that you probably haven't seen before if you've not been an instructor. And you're going to click on the Edit Course option. And then inside of the Edit Course option, you have the Import, Export, Copy Components function. So you're going to go ahead and click on that. And so now when you get here, you're going to import components, choose import components, and then you're going to click on choose a file. Now, again, when you published, you needed to pay attention to where it was that you published that. So I'm going to just real fast go back up here in my screens here, and that's up here in this blue text up here. You decided where you were going to save that. Now, when you're over here ingesting it, and you say choose file, you're going to go find where that was. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose the zip file that was created when you clicked on the zip. And once you've chosen that zip file, you can say go ahead and open. And once you select open, you're still in this import components, but now you've got the in my case, copyright tutorial zip file identified, and you go ahead and click on start. And after a couple of minutes, it will say, Preprocessing progress. You've downloaded the file, we're reading the package, and you go ahead and say continue. And at this point, you're going to say yes, check mark to import all the metadata. And you also want to select all the components of your module and go ahead and click, well, actually, before you click continue, don't click on continue until you also identify where you want to save it. So, and this has got to be with your name. This has got to be unique. So I know some of you, when I went to add everybody as instructor, some of you already are instructors in the IDD repository. So you've already ingested a module. That's great, because this is part of this class is I want you to know how to ingest a module. And so put a unique name there. So I'm Mike Ori. I might put Mike Ori SP16 so that I know that it's spring 2016, or I might put Mike Ori 6190 first time, or something like that. Something that's going to be unique to me and unique to this course. And then you can click on continue. Okay? And so that's really important, because if you don't specify the folder, then it's going to go into the main directory and everybody's going to be writing over top of each other's stuff. So make sure you identify that folder. That folder is really, really important. I should have done something like flash this video or something to really highlight that this is an important step in the process. Once you say continue, or what did it say? Once you say continue, then it comes here, it says recalculate. It does some stuff and you get these check marks, and then you click on continue again. Now your module has been fully ingested, and you can click on view content. And when you do, you'll see that it created a module up here called copyright tutorial, and it created a link to the actual SCORM file. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is, once you get to this point, you also, as part of the end of the course requirements, is you have to create a 5-minute selling video on your project as part of the final course competition. And so I'm going to ask you to also create, you just click on the new button here and then choose create link, and then create a link that goes to your selling video and links to this. So I assume you did your video on something like YouTube. You just copy the URL and paste it into the URL when you go to create that link. That way you have both your tutorial and your selling video right there inside of your module, and your module will have whatever name you've created it to be. Okay? And that's, so you've published it as a SCORM module, you've now ingested it, the SCORM module, and ingested it. And if you clicked on it, you'll see that it actually will launch the module. And here's my module running, and I see all the screens and so forth. So the other thing you want to do is you want to edit the topic so that you can then create a grade item for this. And so what you're going to do is you're going to say new grade item, and then go ahead and type whatever. I put copyright tutorial, but you can put whatever you want, but make it unique so that it doesn't overlap with people. So you might say Mike Ori's, let's say your content is on baking cannolis, so you'd say Mike Ori's cannoli tutorial or something like that. Okay, and so then you go ahead and create that graded module. Now what you've done is that anybody who launches this program, the grading that you decided back in that when you were publishing it, whether it was going to be pass-fail based on the number of screens or so forth, well, anyone who launches this tutorial will now get a grade on that tutorial, and it will go into the grade book automatically. So that's what's really cool about SCORM modules, is that you can create these independent SCORM modules, ingest them into LMSs, and it will automatically track how the person is doing inside of the LMS. That's the LMS talking to your SCORM module because you're using the standard interface or API. In this case, we're using SCORM 2004 API, and that's how Desire2Learn communicates with your tutorial. Okay, and then there they all are. So now you got that grade item in there, and you pretty much have completed the assignment. So one of the things you have to do to complete this course is you have to take your final version of your module and ingest it into the IDD repository, and this is how you do that. And you also have to create a 5-minute selling video about your project, and you can also create that link in here, and that will complete it all. And so just to review, actually that date is wrong. Projects are due the 5th of April this year. One version should be publicly available as a URL, so you're going to still publish that as a Google Drive thing. You're still going to turn off the HTML5 on that published version and bring that into Google Drive, but you're also going to have this ingested version in the IDD repository. It will appear in the gradebook, and you also have your selling video. So that's basically the end of course kinds of things that you have to do. Okay.